Hey there, welcome back to Sister Circle Live. It's time for Full Circle, where we like to spend a little time talking about something that is important to us, and hopefully it's meaningful to you. Well, shortly after gospel singer Leandria Johnson, who actually was on Sister Circle Live, made some controversial statements condemning the church and Christianity, the hashtag Churchurt started trending with people sharing stories of painful experiences and even jokes. But for anyone who has experienced disappointment, betrayal, or rejection at the hands of church folk, you know it's no laughing matter. No. Ladies, do you all have any personal experiences, or maybe not, maybe you or maybe someone you know, that deals with church hurt?
It's funny as you would ask that, because my mom and I used to go to a church and many years ago, and the one thing that the pastor kept preaching was that Jesus was a sinner, and we all know that to not be true. And I was thinking, we were sitting in the church in the pulpit, and we were just thinking, did we hear what we thought he said? And he kept saying it, and I was like, Ma, is that true? And it's very unfortunate, because you look for your pastor to be accurate and have leadership, and although they're human, they make mistakes. The fact he kept confirming it, made my mom and I know that this is not the place for us in our, our faith. We're trying to be in a place where we can learn, but also want to be in a place where, the pastor is truthful.
And did that cause you church hurt?
It did. We have not been to that particular church in a long time. Actually, we hadn't been to church in a while, up until going to Relentless Church in Greenville with Pastor John Gray. We started going back, and that's been after many years, because we couldn't find a pastor that we trusted.
Well, I think a lot of times people put so much trust in pastors and humans, when really it's all about your relationship with God, Allah, whatever, whoever it is that Buddha, whoever it is that you serve. But for me, my pastor, we have been going to this church for a very long time, and there were some rumblings. I was still on the radio at this time, and one of my friends who was at the church, she called. She's like, you may want to, be careful about how you big him up, because he has been accused of sleeping with some women in the congregation. And so I told my husband, and we served in the church. Our children went to school there, and at that time, he said, "Well, God has not told me or told us to leave the church," so we kept serving. And then it happened again, and all these accusations were coming up, and I was like, man, I can't. I can't. And although how I prefaced this statement was, you can't put trust in him, but I just couldn't. I couldn't have you speaking to me about things, and then you're doing the same. You know what I mean? And so and we have not been to a church really since then. And I think that happened in 2014 when we left, and so we haven't really found a church home. And I've been telling you all, up until this point, that I'm just doing something different spiritually. I am changing the way I view religion, and really just focusing on my relationship with God and spirituality. And so that is church hurt. I feel like my husband really resonated with him, and my husband has not been the same since then.
It's interesting, because me personally, I've never experienced church hurt, as far as my church doing something to me that made me not want to go to church. And then I've always never really put the emphasis into one particular church. I've always focused on my personal relationship with God, because one of the churches that I was in, my grandfather was a deacon. The pastor there taught personal relationship and taught how important that was. So I always had that for wherever I go, and I travel a lot and stuff. So my current church is House of Hope in Decatur with Pastor E. Dewey Smith. Shout out to him. I absolutely love Pastor Dewey. But some of my friends who are a part of the LGBTQ community have suffered from a lot of backlash and negativity in the church, which I think is completely unfair. And some of the stories that they've told me have been horrendous. And I think those stories resonate not just through the LGBTQ community, but also through all communities, because all of us have friends and loved ones who are a part of the LGBTQ community. So if you do something to them, it hurts us too.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that you talked about personal relationship, because I feel like at the end of the day, church is in your heart. God is in your heart, and there's so many ways that we can be a part of the service. It's about getting the word. And so sometimes I'll watch it on television or online if I can't get to church. And I would encourage people to try and do that as well. But the church hurt thing, yeah, I definitely feel like it's you have to make it personal for you with you and him, because church is just really a place for you to
Congregate
have fellowship
and fellowship with
congregate.
others.
Yes.
Yes, and be in the presence of him with others.
Yeah.
Well, I've never, experienced anything like that from the church. My church experiences have all been great. However, I do know some friends and other people, and I've even watched it, from afar. The judgment,
The judgment
God,
is
it's
crazy.
so
the
serious.
judgment that takes place in church is ridiculous. And good people, we must stop doing that.
Right.
People often come to church because they are seeking something.
Yes.
They are in
Healing.
search of something. They're looking to be healed. They're looking for hope. If one is coming to church looking for all of those things, then who are you to turn them away because they're not dressed nice?
Right.
Who are you to turn them away because they have a different sexual orientation?
Right.
Who are you to turn them away if they were once addicted to something?
Right.
The church should be a place where you should find a place of being whole, okay? And we have to realize that we're all humans, right? And
All
you
of
have
us.
no judgment for anyone else.
Yeah.
And this
so I
would-
don't like that.
Yeah, I would say the church should be a place where you find we can be welcomed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all sinners. So when we go to, and then child, if it wasn't the gay and lesbian people in the church, it wouldn't be a choir. It wouldn't be, because that's a lot.
Oh, honey, let me tell you something. My pastor did a
let me tell
whole
you something.
sermon on that.
Right, because
Yes, he sure
and
did.
sometimes the pastor, like I went to a church and I thought my pastor was gay, and I didn't care as long as the word was accurate. You understand what I'm saying? And then it's been times where I know people need help. You understand what I'm saying? Financial help, need just any kind of help, and the church has turned their back on them. And it had been where my mom and I have helped this person. So it's unfortunate that the church should be a place of refuge, but it's actually not all the time.
Right. I've been finding refuge in yoga, and it has really helped me spiritually on the mat, and with the things that I do on the mat, off the mat. And I just want to thank you publicly for just, really encouraging me to do it. And I just feel like you got to find what works for you.
Yeah.
And I feel like in this world, because of, how a lot of us got here, we were taught certain things, and now we can't stray away from those things. I've been so afraid to even say, hey guys, I'm veering away from Christianity because I don't want to be like, and then my mom's like, did you go to church today? And I'm like, and I want to teach my children, I just don't believe that God, the complexity of who God is, would only give us one way to get to him. I cannot fathom that. There can't be one way to get to God. And you're the only one that's right? I can't do that.
He said, "I am the truth.
I am the truth.
I am the
right.
light."
I'm just talking about the
avenue.
religion, the avenues.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
He gonna get. I agree with
Right.
that.
Right.
There are too many entities in this world that he
Right.
has created.
Yes.
For us to be able to get to him.
Right, and too many brains. All of our brains are different. Our fingerprints are different, so we don't think the same.
But we do
Right.
have to be careful, because some of those channels are not of him.
Absolutely.
And some of them are to seek, kill, and destroy.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
Well,
we just have to be very mindful. And
One
stay
message
woke.
that I have to the church: stop judging.
Hello, somebody.
It's a place. The church is a place of love.
Yes.
Stop
Yes.
judging.
And help the people that need help.
We'd love to hear how you feel. Send us your thoughts at Sister Circle TV on all of our social media platforms.